Greeting interwebs, this is Jackie K, and welcome for another edition of Game & Chill. I'm gonna throw updates right into the beginning of the video in post, so we can get into the action a little quicker. Especially because the big news is that I don't have any plans for uploads for the month. I don't even think I'm gonna do streaming this month. Gonna focus this month on rebuilding the video backlog and giving myself time for other things like working on game design and addressing some stuff outside of the web that come up around this time of year. Hopefully that just means that August will be even stronger because I do have some fun video ideas in the work. I just don't want to rush them. I'm not even opposed to releasing uploads this month if I finish them a little bit early. I just rather say I'm not and have it be a pleasant surprise if I do than to say that I will and have it be a disappointment when I don't. In the meantime, I have done some videos since the last Game & Chill, including the Sculpling videos that I said I was going to get around to, and even a Kirby Air Rider video or two. Don't remember exactly how many off the top of my head. Anything else going on, I'll save for the video proper, so enjoy the show. Right. Last time I was playing the game, I was trying to finish the rematches that I've been putting off for like literally years at this point. Since I went for all the trouble of climbing up the mountain, let me give one shot at Arceus, and if it doesn't go well, we can go to Game & Chill proper. Spin and throw and spin, and don't forget the dodge roll. We can't be taking damage this early on. Frick. I could have sworn there was a way that I could just, like, retry, but maybe it might be easier just to knock myself out. Come on. Do your stuff. Alright, starting out from the top. It's funny how well you can actually dodge when life is on the line. I just had to jinx things though, didn't I? I love how this is going so much worse than my usual attempts. I can't have the whole video be this. Can I? It's not really Game & Chill-ish. So, at least I got some research done out of it, but, well, I took way more attempts at that than I was planning, but at least I tried while I was up there. Who knows? Maybe someday we can make a whole video out of that. It'd be a good capstone towards a part of the game that I've been ignoring for the longest of times. Am I crazy, or is it not really normal for a Luxray to be way over here? I'm more used to them being over on that side of the map. Maybe it's just because I usually do so many massive mass outbreaks that I'm just used to that. Screw it. And apologies to fans that I'm not as talkative this Game & Chill. I've really been on the fence of whether or not I even want to do live commentary today because it's hot out today. And I can already tell it's getting in the way of my talking mojo. Even have plans to like go do some of the stuff that I've just been ignoring because it involves actually interacting with wild Pokemon rather than just grinding out moves with the Pokemon I already have, but that sounds like too much of a mental process for today, so I'm just gonna hop in and go. Maybe like, I already have a whole intro of just talking about what I've been doing or I have an intro talking about the video plans that you've already seen. So I'll probably just like go over what games I played. And that'll be the video. Even if it means a significantly shorter Game & Chill video. I think all I got in me is one massive mass outbreak. I don't know. AC around here is, let's just say, way better than it's been in previous years. Someone must have turned it off, because it's still significantly warm out when I know it's been decently cool inside all day. I know because I've been outside enough times today for it to be a complete and utter nightmare. Like, I was overall say today was a bad day just because of, like, some interactions that I've had to do while outside. And not, especially because I am not a heat person. I'm not the type to deal with the heat, and I never will be. Ooh, this is just going all sorts of fine and dandy. Yes, tempting as this to just go for thunders. We gotta get the field research done for Iron Tail one way or another. Bye! Her planet needed her. That's all. I'll admit, I kinda forgot you existed. I didn't even notice the trees shaking. And also got so sidetracked with going this way for a massive outbreak, I forgot to check the Apon tree. I suppose we can always get on our way back. Also, do I even want to go after all these Togetics? I mean, I was able to reclaim the Scrooby that I lost to a mass outbreak long ago. Maybe today will be the day that I reclaim the Togetics that I couldn't find because they all look the same, so I couldn't find the right time to save. I really should check out the group of Basculins at the very least, because as nice as Shiny Hisui Growlithe is, it wouldn't even be my first one. Oh, and that's the wrong Growlithe. That's fine, they're both here to play, so it all works out in the end. I guess now is a good time as any to actually go over some of the games I've been playing. Mostly been jumping between Sculplings, still playing that, and Chapter 5 of Deltarune came out in between the last game show and this one. And so I've been slowly but surely working my way through it, all while trying to plague my YouTube history of anything Undertale or Deltarune related, so I don't have to worry about spoilers, but also not have to rush my experience with the game. Because I think it's been out for a week at this point, and I'm getting close to the end of the chapter, but let's just say I've done all the side quest related gameplay in the chapter, so I think the next time I play the game, I'll be able to take on the boss of the chapter. There's no point in talking about spoilers until I'm done with the game, even if I'm probably the only person that has an interest in Deltarune that hasn't beaten the game by the time this goes up. If only because I don't want to invite spoiler talk before I'm ready. Who knows, maybe there is like that one person that's taking it even slower than I am. I'm sure there's very casual players that are just waiting until all the chapters are out before starting up Deltarune. I can say that I have been having a good time with things so far. I am worried that will change. But then again, like, we all know I'm a dramaphobe. So, like, the moment the story gets dark, I'm gonna stop having fun. And that's not even like a flaw of a game, that's just the way my brain works. It's a flaw of myself, and I'm fully willing to admit to that. I almost got jump scared by those red eyes. Just enough fog to like block out what it was, and I'm not used to seeing an alpha out in the middle of the water here. It was just like a peak combination of things. Can I just catch this thing before it notices me? No, but I could probably like throw... I really don't feel like battling right now, so I could probably just like throw a bunch of sticky globs and just be along my way. I've already attracted way too much attention as is. I mean, I could have just ignored Alpha too, but I mean, hey, free items. Who's going to complain about some free items? What I actually want to talk about game-wise is Sculplings a bit more, because I forget how far I was with the game, but in the last Game & Chill, I can say this time around that... But I can say this time around, I've made a lot of progress. I beat the entire game, and the main thing I still have yet to do is just get all the achievements. I've been enjoying the game enough that I decided that this is going to be the first game in my Steam library that I just go for all the achievements for. Helps that there's not like anything too crazy, or at the very least if there is, I've already done it. In fact, like, the only thing that I was really worried about... You know, I could have gone for Cheryl or whatever, so I could actually like use a grass type move and get this research done, but the Raichu's already out here. Even if it's not super effective, I might as well spam some Iron Tails just to see what happens. Yeah, I just decided to say that the only achievement that I still need to get in the game is one for catching all the Sculplings. And that's not even like the rarest achievement in Sculplings. I believe that honor goes to the one where you have to do an entire run using only a single Sculpling. And yeah, I somehow managed to do that even before, you know, the slightly easier achievement where you just have to do one boss fight with a full team of the same type. Might have waited a little too long, but... Oh, is that an alpha Mantite? It is. I don't think I actually need to catch any, but it's such an uncommon sight for me that I think I'm going for it anyways. Especially because it doesn't even seem to be putting in any effort to actually trying to attack me. And yeah, like, I've been going after them so infrequently, I still need to catch them for a Pokedex field research, so sure, let's go at it. And there's like no way I'm gonna actually get... Oh shoot, I had... I didn't have the mass outbreak on the map, I had a satchel, which is... I would go after it eventually, but I was kind of prioritizing the thing that was restricted to the time. Oh! Rip the mic. You know, I've been pretty lucky to stumble upon a shiny Pokemon every single Game & Chill for like at least the past couple months. It feels like more frequent than that. It's a good thing I saw the sparkles because I've already forgotten which one is the shiny. And I guess it's also good that I had the self-spray on, because otherwise there would be no way for me to actually tell. Yeah, I'm gonna have to just try to catch all of these. Because I got no way to tell which one is the shiny. At least I saved right before all this went down, so I can reset if it doesn't show up in the box. Can you stop running, please? Okay, let me just hop over to camp real quick, because I got a gut feeling that the shiny got away. Again. But I just can't tell for sure. That one's slightly different. Okay, yeah, I'm not crazy. I was gonna say, it seems slightly different somehow. No, I managed to get it. Somehow. Nice. I forgot you get experience. Yeah, so I think the easiest way to tell the shiny is that it has the single blue triangle in the front instead of a red triangle. I wouldn't be surprised if this whole gimmick if the whole shiny gimmick is that the colors of the shapes are reversed. But I wouldn't know that. And also, apparently, like, the shiny is a slightly more cream, but I have to squint really hard in order to be able to tell that, be able to see that. Between how hot it is today and the shiny, I'm very tempted to just end things off here. It's a perfect place to end off on. Though I still have some video game related stuff to talk about. So screw it. I'll go get the rest of these satchels. And that should give me enough time to finish my thoughts up. Right, and I never got around to checking the Apom tree too. This might be a quicker route. If I'm going for the tree, then it's essentially the same. For some reason, I almost was sticking that Star Raptor as a shiny Braviary. It's like, what would that even be doing here anyways? So yeah, where did I... Last I can remember, I left off talking about Sculplings. So yeah, I might be taking a bit of a break from the game, just to leave room to play some of the other newer releases coming out. But at the very least, it makes for a very good treadmill game, so I can always grind away the rest of that bestiary there. I also do got an idea for a video that I started editing. I mostly just let off the video saying that there's not going to be any other videos this month, because I'm putting a bit more effort into it than my average video as of late. Let's just say it's the first time in a long time that I'm actually writing a script and recording voiceover from said script. So yeah, it's going to be that type of video. And even if I do manage to finish it off earlier in the month, I don't mind like holding on to it until next month, just to assure I don't rush myself. I'll be looking forward to that. In the meantime, the other Sculpling videos that I said I was going to make last Game and Chill are out on the channel now. So if you really want to taste the game and can't wait, check them out. I'll even include a video card. Sure, I won't forget to do that. I've been pretty good with putting in video cards when I say I will. I don't see why now would be any sort of an exception. As for the games I've been playing besides that, though... Shoot. Well, there was this game that I saw a demo of, and it ended up being pretty cheap, so I just bothered to pick it up. I think it's called Doodle Dice Monsters. If I didn't get it right, I'll have the full name of it on screen. It's the game on Steam, and it's definitely not going to be for everyone, but it's pretty cheap, and I've been having fun with it for what it is. Hey, I don't think I did a great job talking about this Doodlemon game in live commentary, so I'm going to add a quick segment in post. Doodle Dice Monster kind of jumps between two gameplay loops. One where you draw a creature, and then another where you use that creature in battle. For the drawing portion, you pick out a palette, and just go to town drawing whatever you want. Well, there are rules of what you're allowed to show in random online matches, just to try to reduce people just, let's be honest, drawing and showing them on the internet. And depending on how much time you put into the drawing, determines what tier the monster is in. And when you're building your team, you take one monster from each tier in the game. So there's reasons to make silly little quick doodles, but also high detailed drawings. Once you have a drawing of each tier, you can then take them into battle. So, how do I explain the battle system? It's a little hard for me to put into words, but not as complicated as that may make it sound. I'll have gameplay on screen right now, and that'll hopefully get the point across. For those listening in, I'll do my best to explain with my words still. So the goal is to knock out all the Doodlemons on your opponent's team. To help you with that, each Doodlemon has a different set of dice and abilities based on the tier they're in. For example, the highest tier has access to a D20 dice, while the lowest tier can only roll up to 4. But the lowest tier isn't as bad as it seems, because it has an ability that allows it to roll another dice anytime you get a certain number. Whether it be rolling a 1 for its basic attack, or rolling a 4 for its secondary attack. I forget if it was the tier 3 or the tier 4, but my favorite secondary ability is the one that lets you swap out to another teammate once per round. So you can essentially use that to scout out what your opponent has, and then swap into something that would be strong against your opponent. Because I almost forgot to mention, the Doodle monsters do have types, and there is a mini type chart. So that plays into the strategy of the game as well. So when you knock out all of your opponent's Doodlemons, you win. You get some money for unlockables and stat stuff, but you also get to keep one of your opponent's Doodlemons permanently. A feature that I find kind of bittersweet, because as cool as it is to collect other people's Doodlemons, it always sucks when you're on the losing end, and they pick that one thing that you've gained a bit of an attachment to, between like the time you put into making it and how well it serves you in battle. I'll never forget you, Garden Zen. Oh, and I wasn't sure if I wanted to bring it up, but there is one actual criticism I have towards the game, but it's not as much of a deal breaker as it sounds. The game technically does have microtransactions, which feels weird for a non-mobile game to me, but I mean, if you're already used to that stuff, it's easy enough to ignore, so I don't think it's quite a deal breaker for everyone. But I completely understand if you don't want to pick up this game on the pure principle of that. It's not like a groundbreaking revolutionary game anyways, it's just a fun little excuse to draw a little bit more. Or even to see the other stuff people are drawing. It's worth checking out. They do have a demo. So at the very least, it's worth just quickly going through the demo and seeing if it's to your liking and go from there. Oh, I can't believe I just walk by that particular satchel. I think I can't recall if there's any other games I've been jumping between. Oh, Braviary. That was awkward. I just wanted to swap the Braviary, but the game wouldn't let me because it still registered me on the cliff. To be fair, I think that's more on me than it is on the game. It just doesn't feel good to have to climb all the way back up, that's all. I think the big thing is that, like, I want to start working on catching up on the games I never got around to buying this month as well, because, like, I'll probably finish up Deltarune in a couple weeks, if not sooner. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if I finish it up this weekend, before this video even comes out. And there is definitely a handful of Switch/Switch 2 games that I've been eyeing, but I've never had a good time or opportunity to get. For one, Splatoon Raiders is coming out in a couple weeks, and I definitely want to check that out. I've also been eyeing Yoshi and the Mysterious Book. I don't think I'll be getting that right away. I don't think I'll be picking it up because Raiders comes out so soon. But it is definitely a game I want to get before the end of the year, if only so I can, like, include in my list of games I played this year. I could get more into that, but that's a whole other tangent of itself. I've been kind of conflicted about Rhythm Heaven. It's a series I've always wanted to give a shot for a while, and I think I saw the RPG mode in the Treehouse Direct, and that kind of sold me on this one in particular. But I just don't know where I'm going to fit in my schedule, because despite how much I've been talking about playing video games, I am still working on making my own video game. And of course there's the video stuff, which may not be as prominent this month compared to other months, but it's still something that eats up my free time. Mind you, I have a full-time day job, and all this other stuff I do, I have to squeeze in the free time in between hours of that day's job. Oh, am I finally done with frickin' Iron Tail grinding? Oh my god, please tell me so. Yes! All I have to do now is beat up Raichus. What else do I even need to do before closing off the video? Start talking about the games that I wanted to pick up. There's one that I should probably give a proper shout out, but I'm kinda hot and waiting to do that in post would give me an opportunity to look up the actual name. I think it's Wingsweep, or Wing Swelp, but I keep forgetting. It's a Donkey Kong Country-like. I've been going back and forth of if I wanted to squeeze that in all the actual Switch 2 video. video games that I wanted to play. But I think I did it when I took care of some online shopping that I've been procrastinating for months. And I believe I threw that game on there when I was like putting my pre-order for Splatoon Raiders and the like. So depending on how early that comes in, that might, and especially how quickly I finish up Deltarune, that might end up being the game I play in between now and when Splatoon Raiders comes out. Because I don't think I talked about it enough, but Raiders seems like it's going to be a pretty fun game. I don't know why I felt like that there wasn't any Switch 2 games that really caught my interest, because when I look back in retrospect, now I can't seem to find the time in to catch up on all the Switch 2 games that I never got around to. That was not even a Switch 2 game technically, it is on Switch 1, but I do believe the physical copy, at least on Nintendo consoles, just came out earlier this year. So, on Steam, Windswept, sorry, I'm like mixing up two different games in my conversation, and it's just not going anywhere. Long story short, I want to try out this smaller team game in between Deltarune and Splatoon Raiders. I could easily have done Yoshi and the Mysterious Book, but that game was more expensive. And as long as I play it this year, I'm not in a rush to play it. I know I'll have fun with it when I do eventually get the time to play it, but that's neither here or there. Windswept, or however I mean to pronounce it, I've seen some gameplay of it, and it's definitely a type of game that if you like the Donkey Kong Country games, you'll enjoy this one. And seeing the gameplay in action, it's giving me the similar vibes to my first impression of Sculplings when I saw gameplay footage of it. And if you couldn't tell from the past two Gaming Show videos, I've really been enjoying Sculplings. So if a game gives off that sort of vibe to me, it's definitely worth my time to check out. It's a shame because I definitely went, oh, that's cool, and then just completely forgot about it when it first came up in the Indie Showcase over on Nintendo streams. But I guess better late than never. And you know, since I got the mic out for post-commentary anyways, and I barely talked about my game design progress this month, I might as well squeeze a little something in. I don't have anything as crazy to talk about as a brand new character or the like. A lot of the work I've done this month was just trying to fix things that were already broken. Like the flame slide, which has been giving me heck again. Where it's currently at, I suppose is perfectly functional, but there's enough bugs that I think people would complain about if I were to charge for the game. And that's something I would like to avoid if I can, but it's so hard to try to figure out how to fix some of the stuff that's still not working right with it. Mostly just the way that it interacts with bushes, because they're technically both burnable objects and walls. And I think that in particular has been tripping up the code a bit. Now I'm not quite sure how to completely fix that yet. Especially because I'm starting to work on levels for the second world, and I'm introducing an obstacle that both hurts you on touch, but also burns away if you do a fire-based attack on it. That's far from the only thing I've been working on, but this isn't a game dev video, so I don't want to spend the entire day talking about this. It just didn't feel right to not bring up anything I've been doing with game dev at all this month, considering how much of my free time the development has taken up. And if I don't have the time to make a game dev video every month to talk about my progress, then at least having it as a footnote in these Game Chill videos is a decent alternative. Yeah, I definitely haven't been doing anything useful for the past 5 minutes, so unless I can think of something critical to do that I forgot about, I think that's the end of Game Chill. Let me go find a good place to... No, I was gonna say, let me find a good place to do an outro, but screw it. It's been a long time since I've done an outro outside of camp, so I think this is the perfect video to bid y'all adieu. Thank you all for tuning in for this edition of Game & Chill. And this is definitely going to be a shorter one, but hopefully next month things will be a little bit cooler. My mind will be a bit more straight. And we might even just throw the usual chit chat aside to have something a bit more structured with the gameplay, because There's a lot of research tasks that I gotta get around to eventually that I can't just do by roaming the lands and tapping moves with my Pokemon. Why was I scrolling away? Raichu's the perfect example. Things that require me to, like, consciously go after. Because it involves a specific wild Pokemon. And not just stuff that I can mindlessly grind. All that said, I hope to see you all again. Until we meet, take care.